Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk Blogging, Podcasting, Social Media, Video Making, Online Business, Bookmaking. It doesn't end. We do it all, and that's how we do. I'm Joe Pardo, as always, and with me today is the awesome Anthony Hayes. Anthony, please introduce yourself.
Well, thank you, Joe, for that stellar introduction. Glad to be alongside of you as always. Anthony Hayes from Me, Myself, and I, radio.com. I'm an author, about to launch my first book. I'm also a podcaster and a blogger. Not professionally, but I enjoy it. So it's been good to learn from guys like Joe and to do these Let's Talk and to learn more about our craft and to hone in on these things. And we learn that by talking to each other and answering questions and asking questions. So it's really important if you have them to partake in these groups, these blabs, these online communities, and get involved and get whatever you're creating to get it going, get it started, because that's the most important part. So if you want to check me out, I'm at memyselfandiradio.com. Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. You can find me right there.
Oh, well, thank you, Anthony, first off. And, it does help that we work together and we learn, and there's always different ways of doing things. And just because I, found one way of doing it doesn't mean that there aren't other people doing it a different way for different reasons. Obviously, every way of doing things has reasons behind it, and it's good to be able to get these talks in, and not just to answer questions, but in some cases, or actually in a lot of cases, in my case, learning along with them. So I'm Joe Pardo. You can get all the stuff that I do, the Dreamscape Network podcast, and my books and all the stuff, the conference that I host every year at superjoepardo.com.
Yes.
And
be at that conference next year.
Yeah, I hope that you are, man. It's gonna be awesome. I'm still up in the air. I'm still up in the air about whether or not I want to keep it like the grassrootsy that I had it last year. Cause last year we had it in a school gym,
Right.
or if I want to upgrade to a hotel, and I, part of me wants to do the upgrade, but part of me is like, we're different. We're different from all those other ones, and I like that about it.
Yeah, I thought it was very. Well, I mean, I wasn't there, but from what I saw and watched, the video, it had a very cool, laid back vibe, and it seemed like everybody that was there really enjoyed it. So, I mean, I enjoyed it, and I wasn't even there.
Yeah, well, thank you. You can actually watch the whole video. I'll throw the link up in the. Let's see, will it work? I guess I have to type it out by hand. Podcastmidatlantic.com/wrap up. I think it's _15. Is that it? Or is it just, I think it's _15. Let me just double check that before I go throwing out a
or backslash.
Well, but yeah, it's /wrap up _15. I think. Let's see. No, it's not. It's just wrap up 15. I guess it's just wrap up 15. So let's see here. Let's just double check. Click this. Yes, it's wrap up 15. So you can get links in the chat. Yeah, you can watch the whole 6.5 hours of video. Every single speaker that we had, everything. We even had a piñata there, and we gave away. Well, it was a couple of people's birthdays.
Oh, cool!
Yeah.
Piñata, very festive for any occasion. Highly recommended.
Well, when there's candy involved, and we even gave away a crap ton of stuff. I think it was like over $1,800 worth of stuff. I think, if I'm remembering off the top of my head. including 4 Audio Technica ATR 2100 microphones, which was wonderful to give away.
I've been happy with the free T-shirt.
Well, yeah,
those T-shirts are cool, man.
Yeah, I do. Actually, you know what? I think I might have a couple of them laying around. I'll have to send you one down. You gotta. I think I have your address somewhere, Anthony. I believe I do.
Did you ever get I sent you something in the mail.
Oh wait. Yeah. You did. You did. Was it? It was this. It was. Or did you send something else? No, this was it. Yes, it's right. See, I had it. It's right here. It's right on my. It sits right on the side of my monitor. See it?
Right there you go. Keep on flowing, man. Just keep remembering.
Every day. Every day.
I gotta get those up on the. I'm gonna ask you about that here in the blab.
What's that?
About getting the store on the website.
Yes. My go-to place without having to do a whole lot of work is go to Gumroad.com. You can set up products very quickly, and you can avoid PayPal.
All right, let me write that down 1 second.
The only downside is they take 5%, but they're basically giving you the store for free. And if you had a digital download, they'll handle the digital downloads as well for the same 5%. I don't know if Anthony can still hear me. I'll just talk to myself for a little bit.
No, I can hear you.
Yeah, Gumroad.com. I'll throw that up in the chat too. Huge fan. I use it for quite a few different things that we sell. Me and my wife, we use it for our online store or online greeting card company, and we use it for. I sell copies of Adventuretorium and some T-shirts through it, and a whole bunch of stuff. So it's really, yes, sure, it's a few extra percentage points than like using just straight PayPal, but they take all the guesswork out, and they give you a landing page that is proven to convert. So it works.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I need to set up a sort of like a swag store, stuff for the podcast and for the book.
They just recently, actually, they finally added the ability to have each item as a store. So like you could like add stuff to a cart and then buy everything at once, rather than like here's the one page for each item type thing. So highly recommend checking out what they have to offer.
For the T-shirts, you have your Teespring campaign's been coming out. They've been coming out.
Well, I mean, I have 2 Teesprings going on right now, and one is for Living the Dream podcast, and one is for it's just the Dreamer Block shirt.
Yeah, that one's cool.
Yeah, and I really want to get like. Matt hasn't been around much, so we haven't been able to like work on more T-shirts. But I really want to get some more T-shirt designs done. I have quite a few that are rattling around up there. That once I show him what I want, he can make it come to life, and then I can do the Photoshop work and put it up.
Mm.
But
what would be a cool alternative to that?
What's that?
I was thinking about, as opposed to using like a Teespring or one of those guys, maybe getting them made and then having a small amount on hand for maybe after the campaign ends, something to put like when I open like a merch store or to sell through the website for support and donations, to be able to have those, because the Teespring campaigns are limited in time usually.
Yeah, but you can recycle those. You can have them relaunch over and over and over again. And you can actually, in some cases, you can turn down the amount of shirts that you need to sell to like one. Like our Living the Dream, if somebody buys just one shirt, they'll send that shirt out.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how we qualified for that.
I think it's 3, a minimum of 3.
I know. On my Dreamer shirt, it's 3. But for some reason, on my Living the Dream shirt, we're able to do it with just one. And I don't know if it's like the combination of shirts that we have available, or I'm not sure why. I can't tell the why, but it's supposed to be 3. Here's the problem though. I still have Adventurium shirts sitting under my desk from getting close to 2 years ago.
Okay.
So when you make those shirts, is like, then what you find is like, do you have the right size? Once you run out, and then there's the other problem is the minimum order. So like for me, it was I had to get 24 shirts made up. So like with the hashtag How to Dream shirt, I did that all by hand. So I placed the order. I set up the website so that people could do the pre-order on their do pre-orders, and it was a huge hassle for the fact that I made no money on those shirts.
Seems like you did a lot of work for it. I remember being on a hangout with you, and you were packaging up the shirts and sending them out and stuff.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And but with regard to that, this is a good question because we got a couple people on right now. So what do you think about for those people that are bloggers and are podcasters, and how important or not important do you think it is for having these little, things for giveaways or to drum up support or to get the name out of the show, or even if it's just a silly little business card or something, with your logo on there? How important do you think it is for people to have these resources available at their disposal, or these tools rather?
Well, I mean, business cards are one thing. I think everyone should have some form of business card. In fact, I need to update my business card because now I have so many things that so many things in my portfolio that sending people to howtodream.co doesn't make a lot of sense anymore, which is a problem, right? Oh, I want to straighten this camera out a little bit because I feel like I'm looking off to the left every time. I'm looking straight ahead, but like I'm looking left. So So for me personally, I need to get my cards updated to superjoepardo.com and do a whole new design. I just haven't gotten around to it. And those, cards can get pretty expensive depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah, I have to say I got pretty lucky with that. I just went the easy cheapo route. And I designed it all myself too. I went right to Vistaprint.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how people feel about that website, if it's, but I got to be honest, the turnaround was quick. I got all the information and more I wanted on the card, both sides. It's not the glossiest card. It's not the fanciest paper, but you know what? It looks nice. It looks nice. I still have some. I'm trying to get rid of them. And it was the smallest box I could get, but it was a good value. And it's always good to have something on hand because, sometimes I run into old friends at the grocery store all the time. I ran into a guy and he said, "Hey, me, myself, and I." I was like, "Yeah, man, thanks for listening." So and that's something I can just hand to him, be like, "Yeah, check out this new episode." And so I can remind him, here's the website and here's that, to keep that rapport and that networking going. Something simple as a business card, I think it's a very, if you just with your website and email address, very simple, just to get the word. You never know somebody may overhear you in a coffee shop talking. They may be interested in what you're doing.
And you'll have something to give them to hopefully direct them back to the site. When it comes to T-shirts and stuff like that, it comes down to how much does it cost, and then how long are you able to? How many do you have to order? How much does it cost? Are you willing to, if you put that money out, are you willing to sit on it for a while? Like I said, I still have T-shirts. I still have like probably at least 200 to 300 copies of Adventurium here. Because I ordered 500 copies to get the price down. Well, I got the price down, but the problem is now it's just like going on a year and a half later, and I still have a ton of copies. I have a whole box that I haven't even opened yet. With it probably has 2 or 3 sleeves. It probably has at least 3 or 4 sleeves inside of that box. Plus, I have at least 1 and maybe 1.5 sleeves under my desk.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's closer to like 250 at this point, but. It's
So I guess the moral of the story is when you go to order these things, when you go to order your business cards or your demo reels or your DVDs or whatever it is that you want to be be frugal in a sense that, are you going to be doing live appearances? Are you going to be doing speaking events where people will have easy access to them? Or are you going to have to go and create a page on your website to drum up support that way, to open up like a store and to sell your merchandise or to promote your product? And the question is, which one is going to be the best way for you?
Yeah, and it's tough to get people to make that jump. I mean, if especially on social media and stuff, like if they're flipping through the, I'm sure you do it too. You're just thumbing through, and they might see what you post, they might not catch it. If they do, are they at a excuse me, are they at a time right then and there where they can place that order, where they can
Right.
go through, they can jump through those hoops to make that order happen? It's a tough call. It's tough. I can't tell you how many people are like, oh, I want to order, this hashtag how to dream shirts. I want to order the dreamer shirts. And then they just never get around to actually doing it.
I had that happen on one of the Teespring campaigns. I had somebody right after it ended, he told me, he's like, I'm going to order one. I'm like, all right, cool, awesome. So the campaign went on for, a couple days to a week, and he didn't get one. He messaged me a few days after. He was like, hey, can I still get one of those shirts? So I relaunched the campaign basically just for him, but, a few other people got on board regardless. But it was just, I see what you're saying with that. I don't know if I'd say if it's a matter of convenience or inconvenience.
It's tough. It's tough to get people at the right time and all. And the Teespring thing is great. To me, anything I can do where I don't have to handle the shirt, I don't have to go have somebody drop a shipment come in and then hand wrap every single shirt and take them all to the post office and send them all off and calculate all that stuff. Put a t-shirt up. I mean, you can make it so that the t-shirt is so cheap that you don't even make any money. At least because when I did the hashtag how to dream shirt, that's the shirt that I wanted. So I just was like, okay, I'm going to make this happen. Let me see if I can pre-sell them. And, we did well. I ordered 40 shirts. I gave away, I think about 10 or 12 of them. I think 8 of them went to my kids in my class, the podcasting class I teach. Mm-hmm. And the rest of them, were sold off for the most part. I mean, I had mine and Melissa got one, but for the most part, the rest of them were all sold off. So it's tough, man. It's really, really tough to know, to hold inventory. And then, because if you're holding inventory, then you got to be making a lot more money on it, because you're sitting, it's taking up space, and then it's got to pay rent. If it's not paying rent, then it's got to go. A friend of mine ordered a crap ton of CDs for his first album. He's in a prog rock band, and we had a long conversation about this, and he was like, honestly, Joe, he's like, I just want to give them away. He's like, if I can get rid of every single copy, and I want to say he ordered a couple thousand copies. He's like, if I can get rid of every copy I have, regardless if I sell it or give it away, that'll be a win. Because he already dropped, I think it was $20,000 to make the album, because he fronted all the money for the band to do it. Okay. So they went down to I think it was into Nashville, and went to a recording studio that a lot of the other prog rock bands record with one of the producers that a lot of the big time prog rock bands produce with. And they did their album. So he spent the money. He put the band up in a hotel and everything. And he invested a crap ton of money to do it. But with that said, that's why he wasn't worried. He's like, whatever it is, it is. As far as I put the money out for the CDs, but it's an investment as a whole. And if I can get rid of them all, then that's what's important. So it's important to know where where it lies. These wristbands, I wanted to get rid of these. I wanted to get wristbands. I still would like to get wristbands. I would like to get a lot of wristbands for when I have an outlet to get rid of them, like speaking at schools and stuff like that. Like that would be great. Then I'll order 1,000 or 2,000 or 4,000. And if I sit on them for a little bit, it's whatever. But I know that where they're going to be going.
Right.
So
Yeah, I went with like 25 of those I ordered. I ended up getting them down to like a buck, I think a buck a piece, which I thought was great. I mean, obviously, if I ordered thousands, they'd be a few cents a
right.
piece, but I mean, I thought for 25 for a buck a piece, I was like, ah. When I originally priced them, they were like 75, and then they were maybe 6 months later, it came down a little bit more to about $50. And I was like, if it gets down to about 30, I think I'll pull the trigger. And I priced them out same way as I did before, and it was like 25. And I was like, well, I want one. So let me get a couple ordered, and I did that. And next road is getting them, on the website for sale
Hmm.
and stuff. Obviously, I give them away to my guests and things I have on the show. It's a cool, just little, a little something to give to the guys and girls for their thanks for coming on the podcast, and listeners, and just little giveaways to people and stuff. I thought it would be a cool idea. It was kind of a I was just trying it out, sort of thing.
Right, right. No, people do that with books, and that's like, with the whole book thing. Like when I read the first round of my books, the books were really expensive because I had color inside the book. So even at my price was like, I think shipped was close to $12. So it's like, all right, well, I can't be giving away a ton of these, at $12. But now that my book is like, it's like three, or I think it's close to like $3.50 or $4 a book. My cost if I bought them, straight from CreateSpace. So
Right. Oh,
ten
you can
dollars.
do that. You can still buy. You can buy them in bulk directly from CreateSpace like that,
Yes. Yep.
as an
Hmm.
author.
Yeah. So like I'll buy. I think I on the last round of books. I think I bought. Actually, I think I bought like 60 copies at the last round that I bought, and I still have a
You
handful
will
of
get
them.
those like a wholesale price.
You get them cheap, and that's I think it's like 350 shipped, because it could be a little bit, it could be cheaper or more expensive depending on how many you buy.
Oh, that's good. That's good to
Yeah,
know.
so you don't have to buy them at $10 a piece. To
Because I'd love to have a couple copies on hand
Yeah, yeah,
once
yeah.
my
You should, and you
my book
should.
is
You
off.
should always have, even if you just like keep a couple in your car. You should always have your book on hand, because you never know who you're going to run into, and they find out, or stuff like that. Or if you go want to do a book signing and you get go somewhere to set up for that, you gotta have books to sell. You can't be like, oh, I'll sign your book when you gets here in like 3 to 4 days. But you're at the book signing now. Like you have to
Yeah.
have the book there. You know that's it's just the way. So it's really up to how much you want to charge for the book, and how much the book costs you, and all that stuff. So
So you can set with CreateSpace. We're talking about for anybody that's listening. It's a Amazon direct to book. So you could probably talk on it more than I have, but because I'm just kind of getting started with it. But for anybody that's just tuning in, we're talking about a lot of things. But right now we're talking about books and becoming an author, and soon to be author
woo.
right here. Joe's used CreateSpace as well as several other authors that I know, and it seems to be a very good outlet for self-publishing. Maybe not a big book deal, but you do have something on your mind that you think is valuable to other people. Self-publishing is a great way to do that.
Yeah, screw those
And
big book
don't,
deals, man. You're not gonna
yeah,
get a big book deal unless you have an audience.
yeah.
You have to
So
bring your own
if you have
audience, and you
something
have to do your own
worth,
marketing too.
yeah, but if you have something that's worth putting out there, just do it. Just do self-publishing and get it out there, because somebody may find something in it. Somebody may find some value in it, and that's the whole point.
Yes, and I think it's important to note that you really, with CreateSpace, it'll automatically puts it in the Kindle store as well. So you don't even have to write like, some masterpiece book. You could put something together and put it right up on CreateSpace and go. And that's one of the things I really love about Gumroad is you could create a product like over the weekend, right? Like you write this short like 30-page pamphlet about how to do something, right? You set an instruction set on how to go about doing something. You can put it on Gumroad and start selling it like that, like right within like 15 minutes of finishing creating the product. And that includes creating your account, figuring out the photo set and everything that you want to use, and then writing the copy to put into it. So it's really inspiring. Like you don't have to like jump through a bunch of hoops and build a whole website just to build a store. Like you don't have to use WooCommerce or any of that crap. Just go to Gumroad, create the product, put the product up on there, and they'll deliver it too. Since it's digital, they'll deliver it in a secure manner, and they even brand the PDF file with who bought it in the top right hand corner. Yeah,
Wow.
so if like somebody starts sharing that PDF out, you can go back and find out who did it and be mad at them.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know.
Gumroad is they've come a long way.
Good to
For
know.
sure.
So do you use them to sell the copies of the book as well?
I
Do you have
don't. So when you I think when you first put your book up on CreateSpace, you're supposed to, or the Kindle store, you're supposed to not put it anywhere else for I think 90 days. After 90 days, you can start selling it elsewhere. I think that there was some kind of stipulation or something that goes back to 90 days and you can't sell your book somewhere else. But except you can sell the hard copy, but you can't sell the digital copy.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so it works. And I could be doing it on Gumroad, and I would be making a lot more money if I sold it. I would be making quite a bit more money if I sold it on Gumroad versus selling it on Amazon.
In order to sell something on Gumroad, you have to have the product on your person, correct?
What do you mean the product on your person?
Like you have to have it like in your possession. If you have a product that you're selling on your store, let's say.
They sell digital products.
Oh, they sell digital
that's what I'm
products
saying.
as well.
If you sell a PDF through Gumroad, it'll brand who bought the book, who bought that PDF.
So you can sell a hard copy of something as well as a digital.
Monthly subscriptions. Okay, cool. You could sell. Really, they have it set up to almost sell anything, any way you want to sell it.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Is this part of a course on your?
It will be.
That you teach?
It
will part of the monetization course.
It'll be part of. There's two courses is the monetization and the product creation. So it'll probably be split between the two and then cross between the two. Because with the it'll probably be under the monetization, and then the product creation will refer back to the monetization course. So it will be coming, as well as the self-publishing course, and SEO, and crowdfunding, and analytics, and conference building, and email list building, and live stream video, and membership site building, and Facebook, Instagram, Google ads.
Wow! And where can people find this? That's a lot of information you're throwing at us.
Yeah, it's at yourdreamplatform.com. Thanks for the softball, man. I put the link in the chat, but
I hope some people check that out because the videos there's just so much information on the website and so many videos, and everything is so step by step. And not all that necessarily applies to me personally, but I do use the website, and I am a student. Even though I don't use WordPress, I take in particular, to build my platform personally, I do use so many aspects because they go hand in hand with other services, and there's just the knowledge alone will take you and your platform building like a lot further. I've learned so much. I wish that in some cases I did use WordPress because there's some cool plugins and some things I can't get. But for what I'm doing now, it works.
We'll get you there, man.
Whatever, yeah. Whenever I change over in the future, I have the resource I need to know everything about it now. So that's what's great about it.
Yeah, I mean that's really the goal is to basically start with the foundation of building a platform, building your blog, building your podcast, building your video series, either for your business to create content so it creates audience, so it drives traffic back to your website, or just get started with your online business, building audience that creates customers, passionate customers, people that want to be around you, be around your message, that believe in what you're doing and connect with you, and then become more than just customers, but friends because of that, because you guys share that bond, or girls share that bond of whatever it is that your passion and niche or service or industry that you specialize in is, you guys share that bond, so, or that connection. So it's really imperative going forward for like these companies, especially as SEO continues and that search engine optimization, so that you'll come up at the top of search results, is really important going forward. That like, because it's a rapidly changing and evolving standard. So if you,
I can tell you a funny story about that.
Well, hold on one second. Let me just. So if you're if you're looking to build an online business, or you're looking to get your website up in front of more people and generate that audience, in order to do that, you have to create content. 20 years ago, you could just build a little web page and you put certain meta keywords in there, and boom, all of a sudden your site's coming up first for everything. It's not that way anymore. Creating content helps drive traffic, helps drives comments, helps drives video and inbound and outbound links. And it all works together to get you in front of more people with your message, with your business, with whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And that's where the school comes into play. So it's not about selling the dream of being the millionaire, working from home and not having to do much of anything. It's really about how to supercharge what your business is already offering to create more customers. Now, tell me about your SEO story, because if you're laughing about SEO,
yeah, I'm sure it's pretty funny. It was. I thought it was funny. So, I've been working on my SEO keywords and trying to get my name and my platform out there and more accessible for people, where you could just Google my name or Google my my show or my blog, and I would pop up on the first page. So that was all well and good. But then a little song came out by Beyonce with the same title as my podcast. So I got bumped down a couple of rankings in the SEO, and I wouldn't say disappeared, but instead of having, 5 results on the first page, I had 2 or 3. So that went on for a little while. And I guess that song decreased in popularity, so I popped back up and stuff. But it just goes to show you how it is so ever-changing, and just little quirks like that. Sometimes you don't have any control over it. I mean, I'm no Beyonce. Definitely not by my looks by any means.
Don't play yourself short, man.
But you know what I mean? But I was up there. I was hanging in. And it's important to not only to do it, but do it right. And to do it right, like Joe said, from the foundation, build it upwards. I kind of went the background, the background, and figured out all my own the hard way. So if you're thinking about building a platform, or you're thinking about starting a blog or starting a podcast, get some coaching, get some knowledge, and do it. Don't do it like I did. Don't do it the hard way. And call up Joe at 2:00 in the morning. Joe, what's the meta tag to change your? Don't do it.
Well, you'd have to call me, because if you just text me, my phone's on do not disturb because I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping. But if you call me, I will. It will ring, and
Melissa will be very angry.
If she's working, she will not be happy, I'm sure. But to go off of what you were saying about SEO, part of that is because you got to look at the sites that were coming up at the top, right? They were probably some of the biggest websites, some of the most trafficked websites on the internet, saying, me, myself, and I radio, or me, myself, and I on the radio, and that's getting swept up as what you're the name of your podcast and your brand. So it can be very difficult, especially as smaller websites. But that's why you need to build lots of content, lots of posts, lots of pages, lots of different keywords, and then actually optimize those pages. And it's so much easier now than it ever has been in the past, especially with like something like Yoast SEO, where it literally tells you step by step what you need to do to get your post to be SEO friendly, and it's constantly evolving. What's good practice and stuff like that. And sometimes you don't have to necessarily have it, be at the good status. You can get away with having it at okay, but if you have a lot of posts at okay, it adds clout, to your platform, which can add more eyes to your site. So especially social links, that seems to help a lot too. But oh, excuse me.
Again, using those right hashtags and checking the hashtags that are trending. Maybe what you're working on falls under a category of entertainment or music, and just getting that right hashtag will boost your post and your SEO. So kind of it's so evolving. You really have to keep up on these things. You have to manage those different keywords and those hashtags, but don't overdo it at the same time, because it's a double-edged sword. And we lost Joe. So this is the AJ show. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, we got some new listeners. Joe will be right back on. About SEO and blogging and podcasting. If you're just jumping in, I saw a few people jump on, and anybody else is more than welcome to put your 2 cents in if you want to get involved. You got a
little secret,
anything like that.
When I jumped back in, it asked me if I wanted to alert all 97 of my followers.
Oh, there you go.
So there you go. Problem solved. Sometimes you just got to hit the refresh button and then jump back in, and it'll be like, hey, or maybe even if I just hit the X on my video and then come back in, and maybe it would do the same. I'm not sure, but yeah. So that was, it's none of this stuff happens quickly or overnight. I mean, everything, there's always that possibility of getting that overnight, that one article that you wrote that gets shared tons and tons of times. The secret that most people don't want to talk about is the fact that even if you do go viral with one post, it doesn't generally equate to a whole heck of a lot, other than a big number for your shares and your likes and all that.
Right.
It's the long-term success, people getting to, constantly come back. That's why it's like, if you have, it depends on how big the pool size is of how many people are getting to see that one article, right? Because in order for you to make anything out of that, like that one post that really hit a home run, it needs to be seen by millions of people, because you're going to be lucky if you get 1% that comes back to your website after the fact. So it really needs to hit a home run. So it'd be like, oh, well, 10,000 people shared this, this article, and it was seen by, 1 million. Well, 1% isn't a whole lot out of 1 million.
Sure. Yeah, so, I noticed when I'm looking at stats for some of my blog posts, and some are just, it may be the title of the article that kind of hit home with people, and it related to a lot more people. and using those right keywords and the right description of your whatever content you're creating. You really want to make sure you think about how you word it properly, because you want to draw in as many people as possible with that title and really capture your audience. But also it has to relate to whatever you're going to talk about. So it has to be accurate as well, to pick up on those keywords and those subtleties that may otherwise you may not know about. That's definitely huge. It's been, I think as I learn more about blogging, being able to go back and tweak older articles that I've previously written, and trying to polish up some things, I think has helped me a lot too, because then I can relaunch or put out that one article I thought was a slam dunk to begin with, and something as simple as changing a title or a lead photograph, because people are so visual, is very, very important.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people do the whole clickbait thing a little too much, but there is something to be said for people they're clicking on it, and then what you have to do is you have to watch your bounce rate. Do people bounce off? And then one way to capture that after the fact is one of those they have plugins where it's like other posts you may like that are related to the post that they're in, that can help reduce your bounce rate and all that.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen it, like Feed Shark or something like that.
There's like 2 or 3 that I know of. I've only used one of them, and honestly, I turned it off because I like my pages to be cleaner and not a whole lot going on.
And
so
you use those as plugins?
Yeah, it was a plugin. I forget, it was like NGZ or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's one of them.
NGZ other, it's like NGZ plugin or something like that. It looks like I'm wrong. Oh wait, no. It looks like I'm wrong. I don't. WordPress other posts you may like plugin. Another related post plugin. The one that I seen and had actually used was, there was actually a way for you to monetize it by using those other posts from the internet, but a lot of times those are just it's just ads that are
right.
Gotcha titles or clickbait titles. But actually, I'm not even finding that one in these lists of other posts you may enjoy. So and that's it. And relate. And relate's the one that I used, and I never turned on the feature to enable it to put ads in my related articles, but it's it's something that you could do or look into if you really feel like that would be good for your site and good for your brand. But personally, I think getting people to stay is one of those things where it's like you have to write good content, people, or even great content. If people are going to share stuff that they connect with, they resonate with, and they're going to click that share button. If they don't, then it's not necessarily that the topic was wrong or that the title was bad. I mean, the title is going to get them in, but they're only going to stay maximum of 15 seconds if they're not engaged. So you have to you really have less than 15 seconds to make it happen. And it's tough because sometimes we have to, as content creators, we have to feel like, man, we got to like really push the envelope, like right in the beginning. Like we have to take the emotions to the extreme as quickly as possible, because they're going to be gone. Otherwise, the switch is going to be going down. But if it's going down 15 seconds too late in the article or 30 seconds too late in the article, they've moved on. And I think even with Facebook, like something I've noticed, because I mean I'm looking at Facebook like all day every day, is that it seems to be like articles seem to be slowing down. Like the whole clickbait like articles, like the shared articles, doesn't seem like there's as many. And maybe maybe somebody else has an opinion on this, but from my feed, it seems like they're just not showing up as often as they used to.
Yeah, I think that may have something to do with people uh, clicking the this isn't relevant and things like that when it comes to those articles and those videos popping up. And I think, or at least I hope, because I do it, very often. When I see something
Really?
I don't like, so maybe it's a combined effort of people, you know, maybe they're marketing, then they're actually using those numbers and doing something with it. I noticed a lot actually, a lot of the sponsored links and the little things that I do have that Facebook puts in my feed are way more geared towards me and my things that I'm interested in, my hobbies and things. Within the past 6 months have really honed in on podcasting and leadership blogs and things that I may be interested in, that I'm actually interested in, that I may click on. So I think those if you see something you don't like on Facebook or another social media website, and there's an opportunity to put, whether it's relevant to you, whether it's not, somebody's getting this data somewhere, and it's valuable. So if it's just a matter of a click on your behalf to help marketing and to gear things more towards yourself, I mean, I say do it. It's only going to help you. It's going to give you stuff, services, products, and stuff you actually are interested in. That's not just clogging up your newsfeed. That's stuff that you do like and enjoy. And at least that's what I see.
Me personally, I don't unfollow anybody, and I don't say that stuff isn't. Well, I haven't said that any ads aren't relevant necessarily, but I think that what you're saying is interesting because I don't know if it's a lack of people just not sharing as many articles as they were 6 months or a year ago, or if it's Facebook just not bringing that to the foreground.
There's the question. They want to push their own stuff and their own ideals. They're more than capable of doing that. So that could be the truth too.
That is quite true. Well, you know what it is. I noticed like there'll be people. I'll be thinking. I'll just like somebody will pop into my head, and I'll be like, "Man, I haven't seen that person post in a while. I wonder if they are still on Facebook, if I'm still their friend, or what the deal is." So I'll go and search them, and then I'll see, oh man, they post like every other day. They're posting, and I see none of it. So what I'll do is I'll go through, I hit the like button, and then all of a sudden they start popping back up in my feed.
And what is it that you're clicking like? Like
Status updates or pictures or really anything. Actually, in some cases, I don't even have to like anything. They'll just start showing up in my feed if I go and search them out.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So what I would like to see is like a plugin for like Chrome or something where it could just like do like a quick search for every person, like click on every single person in my friends list. And, see what happens. Like all of a sudden, like everything just gets pulled up to the top.
Well, I know that Facebook's using a filter feature now where you can actually see certain posts first.
Yeah. Well, they've had stuff like that with like your close friends list and stuff like that. And I tried using that, and I just never get back over to click on. It's amazing to me that Facebook can be as popular as it is, but when you go to the homepage, the sidebars are cluttered to hell. I mean, there's a ridiculous amount of stuff on those sidebars. And I mean, one of my most hated features of Facebook, while we're on the topic, is Facebook events. You create an event, you invite a whole bunch of people. Half the people don't even like respond. And these are people that I know, and like they should be responding to my invite. And then the event comes, and even the people that confirmed, like I still have to go out of my way to make sure I remind everyone because Facebook isn't going to do it for me.
Yeah.
And yet if I create a Facebook group, I can add everybody on my everybody on my Facebook friends list to my Facebook group, and it just automatically adds them without discretion.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way to stop it. So it's not like for a lack of like, well, we don't want people to abuse the event system, because clearly that's not the case if their groups is just like a free for all. And I'm sure at some point that will come to an end. And there's probably a lot of people that would be very upset about that are using it as a marketing tool to people like,
Yeah.
that they're supposed to be friends with.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some features in the events um, uh, portion of Facebook that's lacking. I think I can't tell you exactly what. Um,
Like, you
um,
should be able to, like, if you say, Anthony, you say you're coming to my event, there should be an automatic way. Like, I should be able to check a box that should be automatically checked for you, that you could uncheck if you want, if you so chose to. That sends an email or even a text message reminders to you, like leading up to the event that you said that you're going to, not one that just I invite you to.
well, I do. Actually, I got a notification for this blab tonight.
In your notifications,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
right in yeah, but the thing is dude, you get a notification for everything.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with that. Okay.
So every time somebody likes something, every time it's like, how many, dude, I'll go away from Facebook and I'll come back and be like, well, I was gone for 10 minutes, now I got 20 notifications I got to sift through.
Yeah.
And I know I've missed stuff because I've had people write to me later and be like, "Hey Joe, you never replied to this that I wrote," and I'm like, I didn't even see this. How did I miss this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because I had like 60 notifications at the time.
Yeah.
How are
Oh,
you
yeah.
supposed to see it all?
Notifications come in kind of heavy at times. I think, another thing I don't like is how if you a comment on a post or a picture, it automatically adds you to that chat or those comments for that.
I know I gotta hit
Then I
the
gotta
stop notifications
stop
every
notifications. I think
time
if
I
you
say
want to do,
congrats.
if you just say something silly like "oh, awesome," just to throw it out there. Let's say somebody bought a new car, so you comment "awesome." So now every time somebody says "awesome" after you, it's going to tell you 30 other people said "awesome." I didn't really comment for that reason. I don't want to like. I
Right.
want
If they like it, I want to see that. Maybe. If they
to.
reply to
I think
mine,
it's
then I want to see that.
backwards. Yeah, I think it's backwards. I think that's a flawed part of the system that you should have to opt in to receive those. I don't think you should automatically be added to a notifications list unless there's a way to do it. I just don't know. It's something that I don't really like about Facebook.
I see. I agree and I disagree. It's you know what it is it's annoying on the Facebook mobile app because you have to hit that upside down triangle, and then sometimes you have to page the second page to hit stop
That's
notifications.
that's for yes. With the mobile, that's mainly when I'm on the go. Yeah,
Right.
yes. That's what I'm
On the
talking about.
desktop, you can just hit stop notifications and move on with your life.
Yeah,
And meanwhile, there's like 20
Facebook.
other, 30 other
Yeah, on the
comments.
phone, I got to go back through and find the
Though
post.
on mobile with the note, a lot of times I won't check my notifications on my desktop. I'll actually pull out my cell phone to check notifications, because if you pull up in notifications, it'll unhighlight all of the ones that are just likes.
On your desk.
Then you have a better look at, like, okay, well, what is a comment, what is a reply, and what's an event, or what's a message for one of my Facebook pages. Like, it's one of those things that I really think that I really like that about the mobile app, because I can't do that in the Facebook app or the Facebook web
So
page.
you just refresh your feed.
You refresh your notifications feed. So just open up notifications, swipe up,
Yep.
or swipe down, and it'll refresh, and all the ones that are likes will turn from the highlight to not highlight.
Right. Yep.
And I love that. I don't know. I just feel like the whole notifications thing, it just needs to. It could be better. It could be a lot better than
Sure.
it is. Because what now what I really hate is if you have like 20 notifications and you click on the notifications button, all of a sudden the number disappears. And then things can start to get like really hairy when you got to like scroll down through a lot of stuff to find like that one highlighted notification.
Mm-hmm.
It should like collapse them down as you're viewing them, and have better filters. Again, I don't care if I care, but I don't care.
Yeah,
you know what the other thing is?
I think the word you said there was key, filter. I think there definitely should be a way to filter them much better. I think that would help.
I don't need a notification for, like, sometimes there'll be like 4 notifications for one post. So people liked it, somebody replied, somebody wrote a comment, and then someone liked the my reply in the like I looked at it, I saw the whole thing. The only time I could see that is when on mobile, when you go into the replies, it's a separate screen now. And if you don't think to hit the back button, then you could wind up not seeing it. But if they start with that collapsible thing, they could make it so like an accordion, so that you could see like, okay, this is the post, here's all the likes, now here's my comment, here's the replies right under it, and just the important information right there, instead of like, oh, you're in the replies, so then I gotta hit the back button, know that I gotta hit the back button to see everything else. Like, how are these people are making all this money? Like, how can they not like think about this stuff? They're not worried about overcomplicating shit, because guess what? Look at their sidebar. It's overcomplicated hell. So
I think the main goal is they want you on the site all the time.
Oh, of course, and I am.
That's their way of just sucking you back in every time. Oh, notification. Oh, better open up Facebook. Oh, well, I'm on here. Let me do this. And they just want to keep you there. And
serve ads.
Yeah, it's
But that you know what? But that's a bunch of BS too, because you know what? Google doesn't have that problem. And Google said you're literally going to Google to search to go to other websites that probably have their ads on your on those said websites. But even still, I think there's just it just needs it just needs a scrubbing. It needs a good scrubbing and all that. And even so, with all those notifications, if that were to be the reason why they want to keep as many notifications pumping in to like almost like a reward system, right? That's great, but offer some power user options, because guess what? I'm not going to be on Facebook any more than I absolutely need to be or have to be, because I'm already on Facebook way too much as it is.
Right.
This would just make it a better. This just makes it a better experience.
So, are you implying having like a paid account?
No, just some pro options. Like enable the pro options, and then that's where you can get your filters. That's where you can get, some of these options that would keep me off of it a little less than I already am on it. But
well, maybe that's something you can create. Maybe that could be one of your next projects.
Oh man. Well, if I was a coder, I'm sure, actually I bet you there's like Chrome plugins that like fix all that. Well, I know that there's Chrome plugins that fix a lot of that Facebook crap. That can do all kinds of stuff, like clean up the sidebars and all that stuff. You can like really
you have like easy readers now.
Well, yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, so there's definitely ways to go about doing it, but it's just a matter of actually going and finding out which one's the best, and then getting used to using it and going through all the options and stuff. For someone like me who's on it on my desktop a lot, it might be worth the time and effort to actually go and dig around a little bit. Probably not for the average user, because they're just in it and off it. But
right.
But
we got quite a few people in here. What's some other things we haven't talked about? Let's talk about what we have talked about. We talked about books. Talked about being an author, blogging, podcasting, SEO. Did we touch on networking a little bit? I think so. Networking and the conferences.
Yeah, with the business cards and like having a book on you at all times and stuff like that.
Talk some SEO, talk some social media. We covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah. This was quite a full experience, but I do actually have to get going in a little bit. I need to get some sleep and
Are you
get some
enjoy it?
stuff tomorrow. Yeah, well, tomorrow's Thursday. I have my bad. I keep hitting the side button on my mouse. I think tomorrow I just have I have to really start cranking out these classes for the school. Oh well, thank you, Pure Nutrients.
Yeah, glad you enjoyed it.
I mean, yeah, so you're definitely going to want to go check out the recording after the fact because there was so much we talked about here, and we started to ramble towards the end here about Facebook and their problems.
Rants, you always gotta get those little rants in, but I'm sure somebody appreciates them.
Oh well, anybody that's using it as much as we are or I am, I know that they would be because it can be very frustrating. But Anthony, before we wrap up, I would love for you to plug yourself and where you're from and how people can connect with you.
Oh yeah, sure. Thanks, Joe. Well, everybody who watched tonight, thank you very much. And my name is Anthony Hayes. I am an author, a blogger, and a podcaster. And my podcast is called Me, Myself, and I Radio. And I also have two blogs, and all of which the whole enchilada you can check out at memyselfradio.com and reach out to me there all over social media and Twitter, Instagram, all that happy stuff.
Very good, and I would definitely suggest going and check out his site. I'm Joe Pardo from superjoepardo.com and a host of the Dreamscape Network and a whole bunch of stuff. The podcast Mid Atlantic. If you're in the Northeast and want to go to a podcasting conference in September, we're here in Philly next year. It's podcastmidatlantic.com and so many other things. You can get all that at superjoepardo.com. And I don't know when the next one of these will be. Probably, hold on, looking at my calendar. Probably next week. I'm thinking like Tuesday. So maybe like the 15th, I'll probably set one up for 9 p.m. next week. So make sure you guys check out. We talk all business, online business, blogging, podcasting, social media. I didn't even get to talk about the fact that I went to WordCamp US over the weekend.
Oh yeah,
which was neat. It was definitely neat. I wouldn't suggest it for anybody who isn't a coder, a developer. I mean, I learned a couple of things for sure, but if you're not like a developer, then it's really not for you. But even then, there was a lot of classes that weren't very they weren't in-depth, complicated classes. So if you want to become a developer, it's a good thing. And they gave us a hat, they gave us a T-shirt, they fed us. It was a 3-day conference, and they had an after party on Saturday night. Though I didn't get to go to the after party, and that included a streaming ticket, so you could rewatch everything. Or watch it live. Yeah, it was for $40. It was pretty badass. Like it's a great value. I didn't really get to network with really anybody because I was like, I'm not a developer. These guys are developers. It's cool to be here, but not really my scene. But I did get to go with my friend Sal Coder. I think it's Sal Coder 64 here on Blab, and we did have a good time. We got to hang out. We played some N64 games, and we went to Micro Center, which is always a great time. If you don't know what Micro Center is, it's like a Fry's or what used to be CompUSA from back in the day.
Wow.
So yeah, to Micro Center. It's a shame it's like an hour from here though. But it's good because I probably would go way more often than I should. Spend way more money than I should. But anyway, yeah, that was awesome. Overall, it was worth it. And I think we're out. Come see us Wednesday, December 15th, 9 p.m. here on Blab. Be talking all this crazy internet malarkey.
Yes.